Hello, everybody. With all of us settling into our work from home routines, we at ABM thought we would share some of our tips and tricks around staying productive, both personally and managing our teams remotely. This is a new landscape for many of us. So we've got some of our senior staff. We've got Lindy Miller, head of our FP&A practice. We've got John Haley, client strategy director for the Victorian branch, and myself, Hein Talliard. I'm the head of digital. And we wanted to share some of our personal tips and tricks just to stay sane and how to survive isolation. So, yeah, for me personally, it's just a case of getting up, making the bed, getting the day started in a productive way, and making sure that we stick into routines and not get into too much of a holiday mode. For me, it's just really important to get the workday started and to stop the workday. That's been sort of my saving grace. I don't know, John, what about you?
Yeah, well, I think we were talking about it just before we started recording. I've done a bit of work from home in previous roles, and one of the first things I jotted down when we were talking about this was make sure you don't spend the whole day sitting at your desk at home. Get out and about a little bit. But that's probably not as applicable these days as it used to be. But I think you hinted at it there. One of the real things that I've found is make sure you do set both a start and a stop time. When you get on a roll, when you're finding something that you're hitting a groove and you're productive, be it slamming out some code if you're a developer, be it putting some documents together, be it recording some marketing materials. It can be very easy to look up at the clock and suddenly at 7:30 at night, you're still at work, still at your desk effectively. So, there's a lot of emphasis, people paranoid that teams are not going to take a holiday, as you put it. But there's a flip side to that. Make sure that you don't overwork it as well, I think is just as relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lindy, what about you?
If I can add to that, I think my scenarios might be a little bit different, and you'll find a lot of female professionals out there with the same challenge, being a working mum. I'm now a working from home mum, which is quite a strange and different scenario to be in. I've got 2 teenagers, and I think what I've found is just to plan ahead. Stick to routine, like I mentioned, get them out of bed at the same time they would normally be out of bed, have breakfast at exactly the same time, and plan the day before. So lunches are planned the night before. Everything you would have done normally, I stick to that routine just to be sure that I can dedicate my day to what I need to focus on in terms of being a working mom. And then also setting some boundaries and the rules. The house has become a quiet space during the day when they're here, so they need to know that this is not a free for all. We need to work, we need to be productive, and they're not allowed to ask me anything they would not normally ask in my normal 9 to 5 working day because I'm at home. They have to understand that I'm at work for that period of time, and anything they need from me needs to wait until after hours. So that's kind of the boundaries and the way that I'm trying to manage our household. And then I think the one thing is not to be distracted by washing and the dishes and everything else that you would want to be attending to as well, that multitasking thing that we think we do well. I think that's one thing I keep telling myself. I have to focus on the work component between these hours. So I think that's just a little bit of what I've been experiencing, and I'm sure that a lot of mums out there feel the same pressure, have the same challenges, and yes, it's an interesting time.
I think you touch on a good point too. I think everyone nowadays is in the same reality as us, and we work together. You've heard it as recently as one of our meetings this morning. My 8-year-old son, I can tell him all day long, don't come in the room when daddy's working, but sometimes that's not the reality. But I have also tried to make it really clear to him. I have a key phrase: hey little man, daddy's on a work call. Daddy's on a work call is very clearly my signal to him that I seriously can't talk now, please, little man. But you can't get too uptight about it either. That's the reality we're living in as well.
I think everybody's going to be more comfortable with the idea of kids interrupting a work call, because I think everybody's experiencing it now.
And I think that's something that's going to change for the future as well, Hein. Just maybe on a closing note. I think going forward, we'll understand that we have a connected work and personal life balance, that we're going to be a connected workforce in the future, and that reality is not going to be so strange going forward. We having that in the background, understanding that when people work from home, they will have their family as well around. I think that that's going to be something that people will be a lot more acceptant to going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for taking 5 minutes out of your days and having a chat to me. Hopefully, we'll have some more conversations over the next couple of weeks as we try and help people navigate through this, looking at how we manage teams. And yeah, to anybody watching, I hope this was helpful. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.